There's 4 main reasons why your brakes fail. Brake pads, that's kind of the first obvious one. Second one is your fluid overheating. And the number one reason why that fluid overheats because it needs to be changed at regular intervals, and use a good quality one. This one I got from Motorbikes Plus. It's a .4 racing brake fluid, and I've actually been using this over the 5.1, and it seems to work pretty good. The second main reason that there's they call it a bellows O-ring in this master cylinder that wears out, and in the KTM it looks like this, and it's the one in the middle that wears out, or it gets dirt in it. And the number one reason it gets dirt is there's a boot at the bottom that maybe gets cracked or anything, and it lets the dirt in. So in KTM you can buy just this rubber, I call it a bellows, or you can get the whole assembly. And to take this one apart, it's just 2 bolts here, and there's a 12mm one there. That's easier to take off if you take the cap off first. And then there's 8mm for that. And then there's a C-clip. After you take the boot off, there's a C-clip at the bottom of this. You just get the right tool for that to get the C-clip out, and after you take this whole assembly off, this pops out. Lube it with either a brake oil or a light film of grease. Put it back in, press the C-clip back in, and then reassemble it, everything back together. And then the main problem that I had, because I didn't find it in the instructions, was trying to bleed it. And typically the way you bleed it is, first thing is get a hose and run it up so you don't get any air bubbles. This one's an 8mm wrench on it first. So typically what you do is, with it closed, you pump 5 times, hold it down, and as you're holding it down, open that up, and you'll see some air come out. And then close it, and then release your brake pedal. So after putting this in, I could not get it to bleed, and I was looking online, could not figure out. I took this apart about 5 times, thinking I was doing something wrong, and then I figured out the main reason is there's a stop nut right here to keep the pedal from coming all the way up. This one's a 10mm nut, so loosen that and allows the pedal to come all the way up, and then you get a much more free play, because this needs to go all the way up and all the way down. Normally when you're bleeding it, and this hasn't been disassembled, you can probably leave that stop nut in place, but that was the number one reason that my system was not bleeding. So loosen that stop nut, let the pedal get all the flow in it, and then as soon as that happens, you can go through your bleeding process. Make sure, don't let this run dry, keep filling it up, and then after you're done, put the cap on. So one of the things, that was number 3. Number 4, master cylinder failure. That I've never seen it happen. And also, even though this is a KTM, Honda and other Japanese bikes are very similar, except the last Honda I had, you couldn't get just that. You had to buy the whole assembly. So, and then the last thing you always do when you work on brakes, spray brake clean on this thing on both sides, and that's about it.